in every new concept, they will be as frustrated as they were in the previous one. But then what you can do is say, remember how you did this? Well, you can do this as well. So it's constant applause. The other thing that you will see in every concept, and some may be a little bit more difficult than others. For example, someone may get a little bit more held up on division, or somebody a little bit more on caring. But but the common experience to everyone is they will want to quit right at that moment of breakthrough. And so that's how you can support that. As you see, I don't know how to do it. I can't do this. Whoa, wait a minute. You're doing it. You're almost there. Just hang in there. Okay? Okay, now go back. And then that will be true, because you can see it crystal clear, right? And then they'll do it, and they'll see. There. Beam. It's a wonderful thing to experience it. Have you experienced that?
Mm-hmm. Eric Post?
It was someone with very low self-esteem. Okay, so once you've determined that they have the concept of addition, because that's what this is to just establish the idea of addition without regrouping. Now, we would have a worksheet for that, and if you feel that it's necessary for them to work a few problems, then they can work a few problems. Otherwise, on your progress report, you're going to write down, place value through 20 digits or whatever it was, 100% proficient. You're going to write down addition facts, concept of addition, and 1 and 2 digit addition without regrouping proficient. You see, so you've already established at least 5 math levels that proficiency has been achieved. If you take an entire 2 hours to get that far, that's fine, because you're going to see. And what may be frustrating one day, that's the other thing. Don't ever allow anybody to stop before success. And you can see when somebody is tired. But you have to make sure that every single thing that they do is successful. And that will happen if you do everything in small increments. So make sure that you're constantly checking yourself, because when you do it this way, it's all them. So you want to make sure they're constantly successful, no matter how long it takes for one thing. And don't ever, no matter how tired or frustrated they are, don't quit. Don't allow that session to end. Even if mom is calling and mom is standing, at the door, you figure some way to make sure you're ending that on a high note, because it can be very frustrating, especially to people who already have a low self-esteem of their learning. That's critical to the success of this approach. Okay, so let's continue. Can I see 38? Show me 38. Is that it?
I'm about to get it right.
Let's see. Let's count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And so again, you see, you just ask the question, and because you're never ever going to tell anybody that they're wrong. Well, let's try that again. Or can you show me? You see? Mm-hmm. Oh, so they've discovering everything. And if they do say I'm wrong, I say, well, of course you're not wrong. Now, there may be an error in something you did, but it's not wrong, and you're not wrong. So that's another thing, is make sure that you're very focused on the language, because all students are right, everything they do is right, and everything they do is good. Why? Because no matter what you're doing in life, it's practice. All practice is good. All experiences don't really have a value judgment. They're neither good nor bad. But if they've already put a bad and wrong value on everything by all of the people in their lives, then we just have to use that language of good and right, so that they can shift their perception of who they are and what their behavior is. And all behavior is good because that was the best choice you could make at the moment. For example, we work with a kid at a group home, and he sold drugs from the time he was 10. Mom was a crack addict. There was never any money to pay rent, and every month he paid the rent, and that's how he paid the rent. Now, could he have done something else? I guess. But was that the best choice that he could make at the time? Yes. Was it a good choice? Yes. He had brothers and sisters, and he needed to, have them not be put on the street. You see what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter what the circumstance is. Whatever choice somebody is making is the best choice they could make at the time, or they would have made a different one. So we have to start labeling things as good and right. Otherwise, people stay lost in the wrong and the bad. What's your opinion on that?
I think that's a good approach. Because you want a positive reinforcement. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to, is positive reinforcement. Because even if the number isn't right, if you're on the right path to get the concept, you're on the right path. Why don't we recount that? Let's double check your numbers.
And that's a beautiful thing that you just said. That's just it in a nutshell. Everybody is on the right path. It doesn't matter what it looks like to anybody else. Everybody's path is the right path for them, whether it takes them to prison, whether it takes them to drugs. It doesn't matter. It's the right path for them. Mm-hmm. And I think that now that is finally how we can make the statement it's about the path. Brilliant. We're very fortunate that you came. Okay, so we have 38. Now, can we see the symbol for that? Yeah. And let's add 6 ones to that. Now, what place is this right here?
It's the ones.
Okay, then what place is this right here?
It's the ones.
Okay, but the ones can only just... Well, is this the ones place, or is that the ones place?
They're together. They all go together.
Okay, well, let's get them all in the same place. Now, that's something that actually happens a lot, and it's really, really good, see, because it reinforces those places. You can use the whole board. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now, how many ones do you have in the ones place?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Can you have 14 ones in the ones place?
No.
So what do you have to do?
You have to move it to the tens.
And how do you do that?
But they're not tens.
So what do you do?
Trade it.
Trade it. That's very good. Trade it.
2, 4, 6, 3, 10.
Now this is where the whole thing gets very interesting, because this is actually where you're going to kind of go to that concept of this. And this is where people will generally have a lot of difficulty. But you just hang in with that, because what you're going to find on the assessments, especially your high school kids, is they can carry, but they can't borrow. And you have to do this. You have to get them to really understand this concept, because where your target really is the borrowing. And so, okay, now let's do it with the symbols. Okay, well, wait a minute. Let's count. Let's count. Let's start with 8, and then we're going to count. We have 8. We're going to count. No, we're going to start 8, and then we're going to go 9, 10, 11,
12, 13, 14.
and so you counted how many?
6.
Okay. Now, so now let's see that. How do you write the 14?
4, you carry the 1.
And this would be 1 what?
110.
And
4 ones.
So you're setting the stage, bring everything back to place value, you see. Now, a lot of times people will have trouble, and so you can write the 1 and the 4. You see what I'm saying? Because what happened many times is they will write the 14 right here. And then you have to just figure out how to ask questions to, get around it. Do you write that there? Or this? You follow? Okay. Then, so you're going to work a few more problems with that, because now you're doing, and we could have just done 16. So now where you are is 2-digit addition with regrouping. You follow? Mm-hmm. All right. So then you do, if you already know from looking at their assessment and the person we're talking about now, where's that file? Where's this file?
Angels?
Yeah, stop that.